kind of like a, I think people like Mike because I'm kind of a unique kind of character.
And I have
I love to
you just see how games of possession are more intense, how they mean more. I think the U.S. is going to obviously win.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Last Uncompromised Basketball Podcast. I will be sending a letter to the league to request used podcast mics in the future. My name is Harry Krinsky. I am joined by Defector staff writer Patrick Redford. Patrick, how are we?
Hello. We are especially good because we are in person at Harry's mansion-style apartment watching a 3-hour and 43-minute YouTube video from the NBA's channel entitled Kobe Bryant's Most Clutch Moments.
Yep, that is in the background right now as we podcast. I suspect you, the listener, will sense the Mamba mentality that is coursing through us. I want to start. I've got two kind of non-basketball, just life things I want to start with. Would you like to, give me a brief overview of the Defector retreat that you were just on? Because I'm curious about the kind of machinations of how a progressive, communally owned media company does a little retreat. That's one thing. The second thing is the Forma pasta factory is near and dear to my heart. You recently went for the first time. They have a plaque of me next to the shrimp scampi, which you may have seen. And so I just wanted a review of Forma.
Well, I mean, my two dining mates both got the shrimp last night, and I tried some, and it was delicious. And I regretted getting the squash special. Forma is goated. When someone described it as the Chipotle for pasta, I my expectations were low, but it was so good. We need one of those in Oakland/San Francisco immediately. Our retreat this year was in Atlantic City. So Defector, we get together twice a year. And we've gone to the Poconos for two other editions of this retreat, which have been great and productive, but not really the most activity-laden zone. And so this year, as a bit, we started researching, should we go to Atlantic City? Haha, how funny would that be? And then it turns out it cost us about half as much money. And I mean, the best thing about running a company and getting together with all these people who I like and like respect and think the world of as like workers and writers is just getting to get in the idea lab for like 72 straight hours, talk through ideas. Like, it was very fun and productive. And I somehow left Atlantic City feeling refreshed, which is like a crazy sentence. And I think a testament to the strength of our company. So I'm feeling excited to watch some basketball and just ready for it all.
You know, the Defector, it's so funny that you guys ended up in the Poconos and Atlantic City, because it kind of supports this theory I have of like a post hipsterdom where you just end up in like fucked up places. Like there's this idea of like faux hipsters like myself end up in Brooklyn, right?
That's zero. This is zero posts, or how many posts are you
I guess
rocking
that's
with?
just like post hipsterdom. I guess
Okay.
I would consider myself post hipsterdom. But a guy who is like, I worked at Vice in 2003 and ate 40 cigarettes for breakfast every day. Like, those people end up writing in like small cabins in the Poconos or like cigarette-laden bunkers in Atlantic City. And I feel like Defector comes from that ilk, which I appreciate.
The first night, friend of the show, Giddy, Nathan, and I and our friend Sammer were gambling, playing. It was like Goldfish Feeding Time Castle. We found the dumbest slot we could. And then a guy came up to us with this manic look in his eye, and he told us, "You got to bet big to win big," that's facts. It's hard to refute that. And then he said, "I'm gonna go do a line. Do you want a line?" And we're like, "It's Monday. No, under no circumstances do I want to go." Like, and then I saw him pacing around the sports book, cursing at the television later. So it did not work out well for him.
All right. Well, something that things have worked out for is the NBA, sort of, I guess, if we're going with that transition. The season has started. I've got a lot of kind of specific things to talk about the true first game of the season, the Celtics and the Knicks, but we'll table that. Give me some big picture early season thoughts.
it's hard to feel like there's another worthy protagonist this season than like a more worthy protagonist than the Thunder. Last year people came in with pretty high expectations after they missed the playoffs, thinking, "Oh, this team could win 45 games. They could be a pretty interesting first round team." And then they get the 1 seed, won a pretty fun series, and then flamed out when Luka started going nuts. Mm-hmm. But then this year they kind of got more serious by acquiring a couple of veterans. But I watched their game against the Hawks last night, and the thing that shocked me is how they still feel more like a college team than ever. Mm-hmm. They're still like the vibe squad. They had this big fourth quarter run, and it happened with a Belgian guy named AJ from UC Santa Barbara, like playing big minutes and like making big plays alongside Shea and Cason Wallace and Chet. And like, it's just, I don't really remember a really great team feeling like this ever. Like everyone is 23. They don't know what fear is. And despite losing in the playoffs, they feel looser than ever. Like, is this corny at all to you, or is it as cool to you as it is to me?
No, I do like it. And one of the things that because something I saw, maybe the second, third game, it was whenever they played the Bulls, they did the funny thing where they got Josh Giddey back and bravely posted a photo with him. And that was all, that was a fun little moment. But I had that same thought about like, God, this team is just doing stuff that you really don't see from a lot of teams unless they have that quorum of 22 to 24-year-olds. My big takeaway was if you believe, which I do, that there's a top-down chemistry thing going on from your stars all the way down, this is a pretty ringing endorsement of Shea.
Yeah.
Like him facilitating this kind of culture where people seem to be liking each other, people play hard for each other. You hear a tremendous amount about Shea's bag and his aura, but there's not too much that gets talked about. It seems like Shea is just a great teammate.
Yeah, people love playing with him. Like he's a very interesting type of really great star, and that he's like a point guard who mostly drives and shoots, but like everyone seems pretty in line with that because I think he just creates advantages on basically every play. He always goes hard. He shoots a lot while being unselfish, and I guess that's not like totally unique of him, but just the fact that I don't know what it is about him. Maybe I'm just trying to describe the word aura in like a basketball context and like trying and failing, but he's just like a cool guy who everyone likes. It's because he's Canadian. Maybe that's the theory.
He gets kind of like nuanced, esoteric fits off, and is Canadian, and is extremely kind of handsome.
If he wins the MVP this year, I wonder if there will be another round of American stars aren't having a moment, or if because he's Canadian and like went to Kentucky, it'll be kind of close enough.
Right. I kind of feel like that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Shea started playing in like American AAU circuits when he was like 15. I have no idea. Perhaps it's the biggest win for the globalists if Shea wins. Shea wins MVP with an American style of basketball
for Oklahoma, like one of the least un-American cities to do a double negative that we have that has an NBA team.
Yes.
Yeah. What have you observed so far?
The first week for me is all about this kind of smart take, dumb guy, smart guy bell curve thing. With seeing the like the stupid people and the smart people agreeing on some like low IQ ass thing, because I really do believe that of course there's all this analytics, how it's helpful, what is somebody's shot diet going to look like, blah 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 blah, but then just actually watching the games, I do feel like you notice some things that are so basic and essential, but actually do end up really informing my take on a player.
And I find those sorts of observations honestly more useful. Just something that's like, wow, Chet can really jump high for a big guy. I find like actually more useful than like, oh, he's got a 42% 3-point shooting percentage from the corner where 45% of his shots come from. Like, I think one actually helps you understand and enjoy basketball more. This is not an anti-analytics rant. You know what I mean?
Completely. I agree. I think there's room for both of them, but the beginning of the season for me is all about these like dumb guy like takes about very silly things, which I will go into. So I'm going to give you kind of my early rundown of dumb guy takes. First one. The Portland Trailblazers rookie Donovan Klingen runs weird.
How does he run? Describe his gait to me.
It's extremely plodding and oafish. He looks, and I hate to say this because it's like, that is kind of what he's going for. He looks too big.
Interesting.
He for some reason at UConn, he didn't look as big, perhaps because the court is smaller.
Against smaller competition, though.
It's ironic. I don't know. Maybe the jersey shirt was like shrinking his body in some kind of compression.
When the shoulders are exposed, it's like he's got some Andre the Giant thing going.
Exactly. It probably doesn't help that he is matched up with 6'7" center Kevon Looney. So maybe he just was towering over him.
Well, they played the Pelicans on Sunday, who famously like don't have a center on the team this year.
And so I got to say, I didn't watch any Klingen in preseason. I heard that he had a good preseason. I watched the 11 minutes he played against the Warriors, and I'm like, this guy is too big. So
wait, but what's his running style like?
Oh, I would suggest aesthetically that he take more steps. He is running.
He's striding too much.
He's striding too much in a way that makes me believe that he will never be fast enough to do anything essential on a basketball court.
Interesting. I also haven't watched. I don't think I've watched really any Klingen besides the odd highlight here and there. And I got to pay attention to this. So this reminds me of an old Danny Chow take that I'm hoping I remember correctly about after Derrick Rose tore his ACL. He did a sort of gait analysis where he ruled that he heel struck too much when he ran, and that was going to lead him to like have more and more injuries.
Wow.
And I thought that was just such a smart take. So I think gait analysis is like not a pseudoscience, I guess is my point here.
No, I agree. And I mean, there is just something to be, I guess, in essence, what I'm saying is he doesn't look that graceful running. You know, when you watch Chet, for example, like Chet actually does have a weird kind of like Bambi-esque grace to him. Whereas Klingen just doesn't look like Klingen looks like you're using one of the like Bowser in Mario Kart, and it's just like mad hard to drift. Like he just is looks like that. So that's my first one. Ironically, and this is perhaps the magic in this dumb guy thing. Different guy. I saw Denny Avdia next to Jonathan Kuminga, and I was like, Denny Avdia's big.
Interesting.
He's fucking big as shit.
Big in a positive way.
In a good
right?
way. This guy. If you're a 3'4" and you're deceptively big, I'm kind of like, that's amazing. You can probably see over guys.
Yeah, because he's basically playing the 4 for them, right? Like he's big and is he ideal sized for a 4 at this point, like a big 3 kind of?
For somebody who plays a hybrid back to the basket versus like face up from the wing, I like that he presents as massive because you that allows you to make plays, to slow the game down a little bit more, to kind of not get perhaps bothered by extreme length. Like I just think it made me think like you're more of an NBA player.
You know, we've between the Scoot take last week and now the Avdia and Klingen takes this week, I think we'll have pretty good nuanced aesthetic opinions of every member of the Blazers within a few months. Like Toumani Camara opinion coming next week. Stay tuned. Speaking of guys who are big, LaMelo is huge.
That was another one of my where you just see him matched up with.
He's huge.
Like who do they play in that first game?
They played the Rockets.
Yeah,
they beat the Rockets.
You see him matched up with like Jalen Green, and it's like, dude, he is just so physically imposing.
I have a LaMelo take, and I don't know exactly like how strongly to take this, but I watch him, and I watch his fellow 2020 draft classmate Tyrese Halliburton, and Halliburton is like a better, more optimized player, but I kind of can't help but wonder if LaMelo becomes better than Halliburton. This feels faintly heretical to me, but like Tyrese's whole thing is that he can't really beat people off the dribble without an advantage, and then I see LaMelo, and I'm like, this guy's the size of a small forward. His handle is crazy. He can make every pass. He shoots the 3 from like 4 feet behind the line in that stupid chest pass motion. And if he can stop turning it over 10 times a game and fouling out, which is like, huge ifs, like there's, is this crazy?
Is it crazy?
You can say yes.
If you believe that the best indicator of future performance is past performance, the only thing you can think is that LaMelo is going to play 35 games this year and like put up big numbers in those 35 games, but just like, whatever. And if you then are, and I think this is fair because they are siblings, but if you're just like looking at the Ball genes and the Ball kind of like injury tendencies, like it is conceivable that they just are fairly brittle folk, and that's like not going to that LaMelo will always just be kind of too injury riddled to refine his game in the necessary way. I will say the upside of LaMelo is more unstoppable than the upside of Halliburton. No doubt about it. I mean, he's 6'8". Like
he's huge.
It's unbelievable, and he's like incredibly exciting and fun to watch.
When he's on, it's like it's the craziest shit. Like I wrote about him this weekend for Defector, but he had this one play where it was like a 1-on-5 or like a 2-on-5 anti-fast break, basically. Crosses over DeAndre Hunter, like leaps past Risache, and then Okongwu like has position on him at the rim, and he does this like crazy hand switch spinning layup thing that he misses but gets fouled. And like I was just thinking, like there's like 6 guys who can make that move in the NBA,
right?
And like judging someone off of a highlight is like A, not something you should do, but B, something I love to do. And so I think just like the basketball romantic in me wants this to work. And seeing Lonzo play again is nice after like 2 years of updates. That's like his knee has no cartilage in it. The bones are scraping against each other. Plans not to be back to basketball for at least 6 weeks. Like it's bad. What else you got?
Well, I want to stick on the LaMelo thing because he also represents one of my favorite, like something I'm always going to root for in the NBA, which is a highly effective but highly unrefined basketball player. And he sort of presents like this both on and off the court, and it's really funny, the LaMelo thing, and it's a funny foil to all of this, because the reason most of these guys come out media trained, like the reason Jason Tatum came out media trained at 19 is because he probably did his first interview when he was 11, right?
Yeah.
LaMelo hasn't beat. LaMelo did his first interview when he was 4, when he was like putting up 27 for Chino Hills or whatever. But it's still come out, and maybe because he's insulated, or maybe because he saw how successful in getting eyeballs you can be from having like the dad approach to being just sort of like insane and bombastic or whatever. But LaMelo says really silly, dumb things. He gets videotaped doing silly, dumb things. He was driving around in a go-kart. he is like, has like completely insane blasted tattoos everywhere.
So much so that he's drawn the ire of the NBA for a tattoo of his own initials on his body, which is so impressive.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, like that is the I like that he is, not that tattoos are particularly boundary pushing or whatever.
Yeah,
but
we're anti-tattoo on this podcast. If you have tattoos, we don't fuck with you.
If you, to get in the Hall of Fame, you also need to be buried in a Jewish cemetery. But I mean, he's all over the place. His handle is fairly, it's fairly tight, but it's fairly like all over the place. He turns the ball over, blah, blah, blah. But he is still this really effective player. And also, something that doesn't usually come with unrefined basketball players is he generally makes winning plays. Like he goes downhill, he drives and splashes. He doesn't play defense the way he should. But so I'm really rooting for LaMelo.
Yeah, the Hornets are a cursed, fucked up organization. But like, I like Salon. I like Brandon Miller. I think. I think because they're also like a team with the purple colorway, who's like always the accursed like little piece of shit team from their conference. I feel a weird Kings fondness towards them. They just got to get Miles Bridges out the paint.
Yes, perhaps out the league.
Who else have you? What are some other? Where else are you on the bell curve here?
My other big ones. I'll run through just some ones that I don't have a lot of takes on, and then I'll finish with my one where I have some actual. We can kind of dig into them. One, Zachary Richese, shot looks nice.
He's cool.
Yeah, I saw him like catch and shoot a 3 from a tray. I think it might have been his first points, and I was like, gets it up quick.
Yeah,
and that's another like dumb guy. Like,
I don't think that's dumb. I think the quick release stuff is like, especially if you're a guy on a Trae Young team or pretty much anyone who's not gonna have the ball in your hands, like you're just gonna get driving kicks, and if you have a huge quick release, like that really matters.
No, I agree. I think it's just one of those things where that is what elite shooters do, and so if you are showing even the kind of contours of that as a 19-year-old French guy, that's a good sign. He
had in the fourth quarter when the Thunder just kicked the shit out of the Hawks yesterday, he had like the one cool Hawks play. Uh-huh. It was like, I forget who he was going at, but he like switched hands in midair. Of course, he got blocked by Chet like 3 other times, but the one layup was very sick.
My next one, Reed Shepherd, tiny little guy.
He's so small. He's basically my height and physical proportions from a wingspan perspective.
Right. Podcaster who just got back from the Defector retreat.
Yeah, you don't want to be you don't want to have the proportions of someone who owns a worker co-op. You know, with all due respect, like. You know, I love what we do, but David Roth, you know, his bucket getting days are behind him, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's
got the Twitter fame build.
The Rockets are another one of these teams that I really want to like this year. Maybe it's a little contrarianism. Maybe it's just Isaac Chotiner mind poisoning, but I don't know. They could be kind of cool. Like Jalen Green is another guy. He's like in the LaMelo zone for me, you know?
Mm-hmm. He is somebody who I do not want to like. Like he plays a sort of, because he actually has. I get that he's LaMelo like and that he's this spunky, hyper athletic guy, but he also has this weird, hyper efficient threes and layups style of basketball.
Yeah.
That, but somehow weirdly doesn't contribute to winning.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't really know if it works.
Right.
Like when he's really on, I've seen him be totally unstoppable, but in a way that feels fake.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I should just get over it and learn to embrace it. But then, you know, I see him with all these just tough ass defenders and Şengün, like this really cool passer. And I think this is maybe a good environment for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll ever be a serious man, but you know, that's something we'll keep tabs on.
And I like that the team just has kind of 11 to 12 guys who want to play. I think it probably is, or conventional wisdom states that can cause some problems because somebody is not going to get the minutes they deserve. Mm-hmm. But it makes for fun kind of early season watching.
It's almost an anti-Thundery thing in a way, where the Thunder want to go 15 deep and feel like a college team. And then Ime Udoka's version of that is like 12 competent players, pretty much all of whom cannot play together. But somehow it works.
It's like an EYBL AAU team whose coach gets like canceled in revisionist history style ways, where it's like, wait, he made the shooting guard walk over coals because he had a turnover?
This is a tangent, but the first AAU team I played on, I was the only white player.
Okay.
And they had just decided that meant that I had to be the 3-point shooter. And despite me not having a good shot and like never making a 3 in a game, they just kept spacing it out and telling me like, you're the shooter, you got to shoot. And like, it just never worked, but that was the role I had to play. So my AAU team that I tried out for the San Francisco Rebels, which were a great organization. Their head coach was this insane guy named Renard. Great name. Is he French?
He was not French. I was cut from the Rebels, did not make the team. But then a few years later, he ended up being the coach of my high school team. And so I try out for the team my freshman year. How he decides to run tryouts is at the end of tryouts every single day, he lined everybody up and just pointed at them and set a number. So he would be like 1, 4, 2, 7, whatever, it became clear that number was how good he thought you were in the team. And then he would be like, anybody above 17, leave. You can go to JV if you want.
Oh my God.
On the final day, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. I think I was like 12, which is important for the thing later. So I'm freshman year. I'm 12. I'm like, oh my God, I made varsity. This is amazing. The 15 and 16, he goes, okay, 16, you got to go. The 16 guy goes, like, are you serious? Like, what? And then Renard goes, oh, you think you should be on the team? Play 15. If you beat 15, you can be on the team.
This is like that Dark Knight thing, snapping the pool cue.
Exactly. Yeah, literally.
Oh my God.
So then he makes 15 and 16 play each other.
In front of everyone.
In front of everybody. And he goes, 16, whoever loses has to play JV. You can't quit. You have to play JV. So then they play. 15 ends up beating 16. And I'm like, wow, that was crazy. Whatever.
Good thing I'm not going to have to do anything like that.
Exactly. First, so I was 12 or whatever. Next day, I'm like thinking it's my first varsity practice. Pulls me aside. He's like, you're going down to JV. No. I don't even know why the two people played one-on-one against each other.
Wait, so then 16 made the team and you had to go down?
16 didn't even make the team, but just lost this humiliation ritual. And they, I guess, just went with 14 guys.
Did you ever play for him at the varsity level?
I then briefly, at the end of the season, got called up, as like a freshman on JV. They'll call up. And it was super weird.
Was he a good coach?
He was not a good coach.
He doesn't seem like a good coach.
No, he was an extremely kind of hard figure to get along with, I would say.
Speaking of insane coaches.
This is a great transition.
You see where I'm going with this. The team that won the championship last year is the Boston Celtics. And when you think about the Celtics, what is one word that comes to mind?
Tobacco.
That's right. So Harry, you raised this to me the night of the very first game of the season, and I only watched it this afternoon. Can you explain why you associate the Celtics with tobacco?
Yes. So the Celtics and the Knicks played on opening night. It's the ring ceremony. I've got some notes on the ring ceremony. First of all, they announced 15 fucking guys. They got like the backup two-way guys getting a standing O at the Garden. I'm like, dude.
See, I think if you want a ring, do whatever. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. That's
unless you're the Celtics or the Lakers, you got to act like you've been there before.
Right.
But if I don't know, the Thunder win a ring this year, go crazy.
Sure, that's fair. Fine, they can do it. I agree with that. But before the ring ceremony, I'm sitting down. I'm literally just watching like TNT, the broadcast before. They're out there. I'm happy to see my friends Chuck and Shaq and Kenny, and all of a sudden. I'm probably just half spacing out, and I look up, and there are all these shots. What actually really gets me is there is a shot of two kind of like half like chin-strapped Bostonians smoking cigars and being like, the fact that they did the victory cigars, that's just the most Boston thing I've ever seen. And my initial thought when I see these two chin-beard guys saying that, as I was like, those are fake accents. I don't know what is going on, but these Bostonians are fake.
The word cigar rendered in a thick Boston accent is it's a crime against linguistics.
Totally. And I go back, so then I rewind a little bit, and I go back and I figure out what I'm watching, because the whole thing is so incoherent. I thought it was a commercial at first, but it wasn't. It was a mini documentary to start a segment pretty close to tip-off of the TNT. It seems like it was made with TNT or something, about these 18 bespoke victory cigars that were made to celebrate the 18th title from the Celtics. And the idea in this video that is extremely confusing, which I will get into, is that some company, which by the way is completely unclear what company it is, made...
It's totally opaque. It's
like,
so weird.
Like I did a close reading. I could not figure out what the company it was. Made 18 cigars with naysaying quotes printed on the cigars. Like, the Celtics can't win, Charles Barkley, or whatever the fuck it was. And those cigars are made, and that is ostensibly the most Boston thing ever because Red Auerbach smoked cigars, fucking 75 years ago. And then the cigars are presented to the TNT guys who completely do not understand what's going on. Chuck looks at the cigar and then just reads the first they have to be like, hey, open the thing. And Chuck's like, okay, fine. Reads the thing and is just like, I didn't say that. So the quote was like, he believes it was misquoted. So,
which is great because even if I had said that, I would just say what Chuck said and just say, you guys got the wrong guy. That's not me.
So what did you think about this kind of piece of bizarre content?
The first thing that came to mind was like, it's so funny that Paul Pierce is the guy who's introing all this because he famously was fired from ESPN for what we termed having a grim men's evening. Which I think is the most accurate descriptor of what that was. Uh-huh. And so the best way to do that is just to remind people oh yeah, here's like a pretty grim, strange looking Paul Pierce clearly reading off of a teleprompter.
Oh my God.
Like not camera ready whatsoever.
Written by something that he has never seen before.
Yeah. He just showed up, he was given a cigar and they're like, all right, it's time to rock. Mm-hmm. The other two, a lot of people smoking a cigar in a professional scenario that's crazy. There's like a guy actively, he's a barber. He's cutting someone's hair while blasting a huge cigar with flames like half an inch from this guy's head. Like if that was happening to me, brother, you're going to get a cigar burn on the back of your head. Like if that's what you're going for, cool. I really liked reading the YouTube comments too. I did some analytics. About a third of them are anti-tobacco use.
Okay.
A quarter or so, I'm going to get my percentages fucked up, but we roll. Yeah. A quarter were like, this beat is tight. Like this beat is fresh. I forget what it was. A lot of people were into it. The most liked comment was, this looks and feels like a Scientology promotional video, cry laughing emoji. Mm-hmm. My favorite one, the bartender and the rowing chicks were baddies. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, a lady was rowing down, I don't know, the river or something, while smoking a cigar. Another activity you absolutely would
never be doing. Yeah, no, it was truly giving. Like I used Crest and it has changed my life, and I haven't gotten a cavity since or whatever. The only other thing I will say about this cigar stunt is, nominally. Like, I started trying to do the work of like, okay, like, why did this get made, right?
Good question.
Who had to, was the cigar company? Does Paul Pierce have equity in the cigar company? And did he pull a string? What really happened here?
Are they running out of things to say after 18 titles now?
Yes, right. Was it just purely a content play? I did some Google and I really poked around. And the funniest part about this is just how incredibly hard it was to figure out. Every single kind of like AI style article all cited the same tweet, which is a tweet that has like middling meme numbers, like probably like 400 likes and 200 retweets from a Clutch Points reporter who all he did was post a screenshot of a Cousin Stiz Instagram story of him posting ostensibly one of the cigars. That is it. That is the only on the record thing about these cigars.
If that doesn't make you want to blast a cigar right now, that's the coolest shit I have ever heard.
Did Cousin Stiz get one because he's a supporter? Did he get one because he is a hater? He's a Boston rapper, so I presume he's a supporter. But
yeah, but these went out to the haters, right?
That's what they said. So
I'm a hater and some semi-occasional. I mean, not an NBA champion, so I haven't earned it, but semi-occasional cigar smoker. Mm-hmm. I should have gotten one of these hater-ass cigars.
I've said unspeakable things about the Celtics in various boys chats. So I agree. I wish I could.
The larger thing here is this whole idea of the haters not believing in you, mm-hmm. and the haters are so mad they're crying, and you're doing the petty cigar thing is like, you can't do that if you also just won you broke the record for most titles. If you're like this global bestriding colossus of a franchise who's like basically like synonymous with NBA basketball, mm-hmm. you are not allowed to like pay attention to the haters at that point. Like You have your rings. You kind of just got to shut the fuck up.
Completely, yeah. It does, and this is actually a kind of quarter-baked theory I've had for a while, that it really does seem like one of the only tried and true ways of kind of maximizing effort on a basketball team is convincing as many people as you possibly can in the organization that nobody believes in them.
Yeah.
And so that is like a collective, every team is doing that, where they are trying to convince, like, how do we convince our star that everybody outside of this, family unit of a basketball team, like, hates him and wants him to fail.
Yeah, it's the X against the world formulation. Well, honestly, it's sort of the Renard method, It's just turn everyone, except he is applying it to an even more atomized degree. He's saying, I don't believe in you. It's you against the world.
Yeah. It's my dad is my biggest hater. John Moran approach.
The people they found to represent Boston too, that clearly drunk guy in the green Celtics jersey who you brought up, who is like a caricature of the Boston guy. I mean, I have been to Boston once and found it a beautiful city. I also those are representative Celtics fans. Nothing but respect, of course. Like, a lot of good Celtics fans friends, but also man, they couldn't have found a couple cooler guys, or at least one other former player.
No, 100%. I guess I'm of two minds of it. I'm like, one is I'm like, those guys are crisis actors. Like those guys are from where's the CIA headquarters?
Langley.
Yes, those guys are from Langley.
It sounds like I said that really quick because I know I've been there and stuff, but I read a lot of Wikipedia. Don't worry about it.
No, totally. You've watched.
I've watched Quantico.
Yes,
on
exactly.
CBS.
My other thought is I guess those that when I do think about who are the type of people you are most likely to get kind of like punched in the mouth outside of a Celtics game, I guess it is. Maybe it literally is a guy in a Antoine Walker jersey, chain smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, also on our way into New York the other day, we got cut off by a guy driving a green Subaru Forester, steering with his knees while lighting a cigar with both of his hands. So I'm predisposed to be anti-cigar. I've come in hot off of all this.
That's awesome.
When I was briefly unemployed before we started Defector, my friend, for some reason, wanted to hang out at the Occidental Cigar Club on Pine Street in downtown San Francisco a lot. And I was like 28 when this happened, and I got carded every single time I went in there. It was like I was the youngest person by 2 decades. Like,
that's hilarious.
Young people are not out here smoking cigars, I guess is my point. Speaking of the Celtics, we're now watching a NBA Sunday Showcase section of Kobe Bryant's most clutch moments. And he just went 10 for 27 in a game against the Spurs. But the thing that I like about this highlight reel is that the era that Kobe was good comprised both the time when NBA games looked like they were 8-bit pixelated things and then totally high definition productions. Like, that's a pretty interesting time production wise to be a really good NBA star. And I think that brings us to a classic Harry take here. Yes. I really like this.
First of all, I think you're right. I think you could make the argument that Kobe was dominant in the highest amount of pixel definition resolutions, like anywhere from something you could stream on a TV from the 1980s to something you could stream on a iPad Pro. But yes, this is similar. I'm sitting down. It's the beginning of the new NBA season. I'm watching this fake Celtics hagiography, and I tap in. Actually, I guess the next night, because Wednesday, it's like I can't wait to watch a whole slate of games. And
League Pass night.
It's a big League Pass night. Who are my League Pass All-Stars? Who's to say? I go in. I fire up the quad box, and the 4 games are on. I'm trying whatever, and I just started thinking to myself like, I'm not having fun. I'm on the quad box and I keep checking my phone. And I'm like, this quad box thing is giving me a headache. I don't know what to watch. I don't know which one to go on. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, we all get caught doing things that we don't actually want to be doing. And so I took a mindful deep breath, and I was like, Do I like the quad box?
I think it's too many boxes, is what you're saying.
It's way too many boxes. No, but it's not just too many boxes. It is a myth that I believe. I think my take is the quad box. Not only do I not like the quad box, but actually everybody doesn't like the quad box. But there is this weird kind of machismo masculinity around sports maximalism.
Yes.
Like, we need the biggest TV with the most amount of things. That is, we are, as men, as young men, we are conditioned to like this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that causes all kinds of far-reaching societal problems. I wouldn't call this a far-reaching societal problem, but I would call it a problem.
This is a narrow-reaching societal problem.
This is a narrow-reaching societal problem, which is that...
The fact that they sent cigars to people that were talking smack is basically like...
Sorry if this got cut off. I took a high-powered business call. Being a member of the deep state, the media elite, it can sometimes get...
I actually just walked by a very famous podcaster on the street.
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it after we stop recording.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I live right below David Silver. Or fake, what's his name? No, sorry. I live right below
and
Nate
Harry's
Nate
address
Silver.
is, of course...
Nate Silver's address is beep. No, just kidding. I don't live... Though I will say, I'm in Fort Greene. I see some people. I see if you've written an influential essay in the New Yorker, there's a chance I've seen your dog. But enough about multiple celebrities. I want to talk about multiple basketball games. So the real point I'm trying to drive home is the idea in theory and aesthetically works as something that of a dude's rock situation. Mm-hmm. It's like I get to watch 4 NBA basketball games at the same time. How amazing is that? And it's this like new technological advance. And there's the 4 rectangles equals a bigger rectangle, and that is my TV's a rectangle.
It's
whatever.
like NFL Red Zone, but for like a league pass night. And you're like, wow, Spurs Wizards. Can't wait to watch this alongside 3 other games.
Exactly. And the experience I find, which I suspect is everybody's experience because of the like innate limitations of the human brain, is you are just watch one game because nobody can understand even on a possession to possession level, like even if you somehow had the discipline to switch off possession by possession across the board, to try to understand a basketball possession from like second 13 on the shot clock on from a live possession, it's like looking at a painting while driving past it. Like it's impossible.
Yeah, I feel like the quad box basically posits that the problem with the second screen experience is that's not enough screens.
Right.
In fact, that's half as many screens as you need.
Totally. And what you actually need is 2 to 4 screens that are the same style of screen. So if you can buy, we all intuitively understand that you can't focus on 2 things, except we all also believe that we are the exception to that rule and that we alone can look at 2 screens.
If you count the production Google Doc as 1 screen, we are having a 2-screen experience right now. But
true.
The other one involves Ime Udoka's short stint with the Sacramento Kings. So that's actually edifying, and we're becoming smarter.
Right, that's his ambiance. Well, and actually speaks to my point is the quad box experience as a basketball fan is one of more of actualization porn than it is basketball ingesting. Like
That's a good way to put it.
You are being the NBA League Pass nerd you want to be. But
yeah, it's the performance of basketball watching at the expense of the actual watching of basketball.
Exactly, which I do believe there's a bit of a through line through the way some basketball people talk about basketball, which is if you are a fan of the NBA, it is expected that you like watching the second quarter of a Trailblazers game where your team's not in it, where I think everybody would benefit from being like, yeah, I love the Warriors. I love thinking about watching the Warriors. I don't give a fuck about like, whoa. Wow, we actually did just get disrupted by the second screen because Kobe almost died, but okay. I don't give a fuck.
Sean May spotted.
I don't give a fuck about some regular NBA season game, and most people feel that way.
Yeah, and there's this I think there's this sort of background assumption with most NBA media that you are speaking from this place of perfect authority, having like done the Zach Lowe thing of watching every game and having these perfectly formed, totally holistic, like unimpeachable opinions about everything. When really, I mean, I guess this is spoken as someone who just admitted to not watching Donovan Klingen. I think I would rather just get discrete observations without. I think these opinions are actually better unburdened by the performance of totality. I would rather have discrete, honest, and small basketball opinions rather than someone who's like, I watched every possession of Wizards Blazers on Tuesday, and here are my 17 most important takeaways for like how Bilal Coulibaly attacks like back screens or whatever.
Yeah, it's true, and in attempting to sum everything up puts you in the mode of doing what a computer does, which is miss out on the kind of dynamicism and human error of what actually goes on over the course of an NBA possession, which is like somebody forgets the play and somebody trips and you move around and somebody has a stomachache or is having a bad day. Like the actual chaos of an NBA possession is one that can only be enjoyed like with your full attention.
It's like, I feel like the process you're describing is like the self-AIification of the basketball fan,
Yes.
or in the sense that like a large language model engine can like approximate what seems like the possible outlines of like understanding, but its actual granular truths are pretty much always bullshit. Whereas like if you're watching 4 games, you will get the credit in whatever system you want to account for that in of having watched those 4 games without any of the actual like interesting granularity of just watching like a game.
Totally. So, I did have a thought. This is now I'm moving in because that is actually a kind of a broader, serious point about like the over efficiency kind of this, mass media, blah, blah, blah. I want to talk about a different thing, which is what would an NBA League Pass, NBA Red Zone look like? Because many, obviously that's like, yeah, there should be NBA Red Zone. But it's hard because you can't do just every layup. The theory that I have, which would be hilarious, layup compilation. Here, let me run this by you. I don't think I even mentioned this off air. I think that the right way to do NBA Red Zone is to not focus on showing every positive play as NFL Red Zone does, but what should actually be about targeting the removal of dead NBA plays. So if I could have a system where every free throw existed in a small corner while other stuff was going on, and every nadir of an NBA game, which is minute 8 of the first quarter to
when the subs are all
basically, when fucking Steph Curry's not in the game. If those could just be removed and I could just get a long stream of the first 8 minutes of every game, followed by a long stream of the first 8 minutes of the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, followed by a long stream of fourth quarters.
Yeah.
That is the technologically optimized basketball viewing experience that I would want from a Red Zone.
I think this is totally right. Like basically on an average NBA night where, and I guess I have to convert all these to Eastern time, unfortunately, because we're both here, starts at 7 p.m., ends whenever the hell the West Coast games end here. You're showing basically the parts of the most interesting games where you're optimizing for number of starters in for good teams.
Exactly.
And then you're kind of just switching around, but it's only one game at a time with like the central narrative through line of like the most interesting game. So if there's like the Bucks are playing the Sixers or whatever, you're probably going to see some of those bench minutes at the expense of like, every time I just like think of a bad team in my brain, it's just Wizards are the one that comes to mind.
Sure, yeah.
But like, Wizards, Rockets, like we don't need to see every second of that.
Right.
And then when the West Coast games are on, it's usually there's only like 1 or 2 a night. Then that's when we see the weird goofy shit from like, it's like, oh, Ben Simmons fell down trying to do a layup. Like we're just going to show you this kind of like, this reel of notable plays, not just like the cool dunks and stuff, like, but where the focus is only ever one thing on the screen at a time.
Completely. I want maximum roster salary GDP on my screen at all times.
That's the efficiency we can get down within this household.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Kings are up by 2 with 5 seconds left. Are they about to win?
Something that is completely insane about this game that we are watching on YouTube is
Oh.
on the left corner. Oh, Kobe Bryant, game winner 3. On the you hate to see it. On the left corner of the screen, that explains it, is an Israeli flag.
Yeah.
I think that's because Omri Caspi.
I remember that was his rookie year, and I attended a lot of games, and there was a bunch of stories in the Sacramento Bee about how just every NBA arena he went to would have like Jewish Heritage Night or like Israeli, not Israeli Heritage, but
whatever
something
it
like that,
was,
like some Israeli sponsored thing. And I was like 17 at the time, and I was like, I wonder what's up with that. And then within a year, I was like, ooh, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
But he was a bucket. He was like very briefly, he was like an okay rookie. I feel like he never got better.
Totally. He had like a weirdly high percentage from 40 feet.
Yeah, goofy shooting motion. Ersan Ilyasova is now on the screen. I loved that guy. He was cool.
Also one of the great NBA conspiracies.
About Ilyasova?
Yeah, that he is.
This is a great thing to end on.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he's a fake guy. Like this other 22-year-old named like this is not his name, but something like Steve Ilyasova was in
Classic Turkish first name.
Hold on, let me look this up. Ilyasova controversy. It's essentially he lied about his age, but in an insane way.
Because Buddy Hield, Warriors legend, Buddy Hield admitted to lying about his age.
Did he?
When he was on the Kings, he was like, okay, I don't remember the years, but it's like my 25th birthday that's happening now is actually my 26th birthday. And he was 1 year older because he was a 4-year college player too.
Yeah.
So he came in as like a 23-year-old rookie or something. Like he was old as hell.
Okay, the controversy was fueled by the claim that a man named Arsen Ilyasova, born in 1984 in Bukhara, Uzbekistan, entered Turkey as an 18-year-old in August 7th, 2002, and was never heard from again.
Whoa.
While September 19th, 2002, a man named Semitin Bulut claimed to have forgotten to register the birth of his now 15-year-old son, and did so as Ersan Ilyasova.
Wow.
So, hey,
This is great. I'd never heard this before.
yeah, it's a good little.
If you have any Ersan Ilyasova facts, please DM us on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to hear more.
Absolutely, DM us that, and please, everybody, thank you for supporting Nothing But Respect. Thank you for all the kind words on our launch. Please give us a little rate and review on Twitter or on Apple
Yeah,
Podcasts.
rate and review us on Twitter. Yeah.
Rate and review us on Twitter. Yeah, on Instagram. And we will see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Take care.
Like, you don't want the smoke, but you got the smoke.
You tried.
That's really what it is.
You tried to bring the smoke, but we really brought the smoke.
With every puff, every doubter is forced to watch their words go up in smoke.
What they gonna say now? What they gonna say now?